of this points very clearly to the defendant, doesn't it? Yes, it most certainly does, Your Honor. Ready to give in yet? Right? I'll find the hole in your argument somehow, and I will fill it to your satisfaction. Oh. Hello, YouTube. I am Unca Crunk, just your standard issue purple monster of a certain age who plays games on the internet. In the previous episode of Phoenix Wright, we finally got to see Miles. Oh, he's looking well, happy, rested, and he's helping us out a little bit in our trial preparations. Right, the trial. Yeah, it's definitely Mass Manager, Adrian Andrews. And Maya might have escaped the wine cellar she was imprisoned in, maybe. But if that's the case, then maybe we don't have to get our acquittal in one day after all. Anywho, the trial of Matt on Guard. March 22nd, 9:47 a.m. District Court, Defendant Lobby number 3. Adrian did it? Yeah, that's what it looks like. Dude, no way! That woman couldn't do anything like that. In court today, there will be a mountain of evidence that will implicate you. A mountain of evidence? I'm certain there is someone out there trying very hard to pin this whole thing on you. Please, Mr. Lawyer. Dude, like I said yesterday, I'm refreshing like a string cheese. All right? No, wait. Not string cheese. Spring breeze, right? Yeah, man. I'm like Calgon. I'll take you away. No, wait. No, that sounds bad. Hang on. Oh, yeah, right. I can't let any sort of scandal ruin that, man. I understand. It's almost time. Oh, no, okay, well, it's almost time. Mia! We must get a complete acquittal today. I know. But I'm sorry, Mia, but I can't focus on Maya's situation right now. Or Pearl's either. No matter what, I have to focus on winning this case by the end of the day. Indeed. Well, let's get going. Oh. It's him! This is right. Good morning. This is it, Mr. Attorney. The day of the trial. Maya, she's unharmed, right? Well, when I checked on her earlier this morning, she seemed a bit, how should we say, tired. Don't worry. People don't die that easily. Besides, what you really should be concentrating on is winning today's trial. For my sake as well as yours, you must win today's trial. Which is why I sent you a little present this morning. Present? What in the world would you want to give me? You'll figure it out once the trial starts. And even if you don't like my gift, I expect you to graciously accept it and win the day's contest. If you please. Wait! The kidnapper sent me a present? Hey, Mr. Lawyer dude? Like, who is that? No one important. Yes, nothing to do with you, so forget you heard anything. Oh, yeah, sure, man, no problem. Who are you? Oh. Dude! Oh, sorry. Yeah, hey, dude. Like, did your nose just get longer? March 22nd, 10 a.m. District Court, courtroom number 3. Court is now in session for the trial of Matt Ungard. Are the prosecution and the defense ready? The defense is ready, Your Honor. What? I say, Mr. Wright, what happened to Ms. Von Karma? How should I know? I don't know, Your Honor. Why are you getting mad at me? Your Honor. Please be quiet, bailiff. Court is in session. If you must tell me something, please keep it brief. Now then, what is it? Prosecutor Von Karma has, this morning, Ms. Von Karma was shot by an unknown gunman. What? Is this the present? Ooh, that's one hell of a present. And, okay, Von Karma's not a nice person, but still, no, that's not a nice person. I don't like that. What? Shot? Somehow, I think this is the present that man was talking about. You don't say. It's present. Ms. Von Karma is one of the top prosecutors in the country at the moment. If she were to disappear, it would be to your advantage. Oh. Well, I mean, we'll get to see him again, so that's nice. But, yeah. I'd rather have Von Karma. She makes more mistakes than he does. This is totally insane! Miss Von Karma, is she alright? I don't have that answer. Yeah, I think we know who this is. She's alive and in stable condition. Oh, that's good. Whew. You're... I thought he'd show up. Your Honor, due to the circumstances, Ms. Francisca Von Karma can not appear in court today. I, Miles Edgeworth, will be taking her place. The prosecution is ready. Naturally. Ooh, boy, this is going to be a tough one. Ms. Von Karma was shot in her right shoulder and is currently undergoing surgery. Hey, that's the shoulder her father was shot in. Luckily, I have looked this case over and am familiar with the details. The prosecution seeks to prove the guilt of Mr. Matt Ungard. The court acknowledges the prosecution. The court is not worthy. Right. I finally found the answer I was struggling for on my long journey this past year. By the time this case comes to an end, you too will know the answer. Oh, crap. Now then, the prosecution would like to call its first witness. Please bring Detective Gumshoe to the witness stand. Witness, your name and occupation. My name's Dick Gumshoe, sir. I'm a detective down at the precinct. For now. For now? After this trial's over, I'm supposed to turn in my badge, sir. Detective Gumshoe! No! Don't go! The prosecution has no need for a depressed witness. Lift your head up and face forward like a proud officer. Detective Dick Gumshoe. Yes, sir! Now, let's have your testimony. If we want to explore the various facets of this case, we must start with that. Get ready, Phoenix. This one's going to be a very rough fight. Yeah. It would have to be with Edgeworth as my opponent. The answer he was struggling for. Interesting. Show me this answer you finally found, Edgeworth. The bare facts of the case. This murder happened after the Hero of Heroes award ceremony, sir. The victim, Juan Carita. One is pronounced one. Oh yeah, sorry. Thank you, Mr. Prosecutor, sir. The victim, one Juan Carita, was found dead in his hotel room. Oh, God. After looking into the cause of death, we believe he was definitely murdered, sir. At first, we thought there was something suspicious about the empty guitar case. However, we later found out that the guitar case had absolutely nothing to do with the murder. Wait, what? Really?
After the award ceremony ended, the victim was alone in his room.
Yes, sir. Both the victim and defendant went alone to their rooms, sir.
I see. Mr. Wright, you may begin your cross-examination.
All right. So, this murder happened after the Hero of Heroes award ceremony, sir. Yeah, sure. Okay. The victim, Juan Carita, was found dead in his hotel room. You know what? I can probably press on everything this time since Von Karma's not here. Would you please give us a brief timeline of what happened after the ceremony? Okay, pal. So, the ceremony started at 6 p.m. It ended around 8 p.m. And then there was a short break. A special post-ceremony show was supposed to start in the lobby 30 minutes later. And that's when the victim's body was found, correct? Which is to say the murder occurred during that 30-minute break period.
Please continue with your testimony, Detective.
The victim was found dead in his hotel room. The person who discovered the victim's body was Adrian Andrews, correct? Yeah.
Who is this Adrian Andrews you're talking about?
Oh yeah, she's the defendant, Matt Ungard's manager. She's a really pretty lady, sir.
So she's a pretty lady. I wonder if she will grace us with her presence.
Anyway, when the post-ceremony show was about to start, she went to get Mr. Ungard. After visiting his room, she went to the victim's room to get him for the show, sir.
I see, and that's when she found the victim's body.
After looking into cause of death, we definitely believed he was definitely murdered. Sir, the cause of death. Wasn't that because Mr. Carita was stabbed in the chest? Only a careless amateur would believe something so brainless as that, pal. I told you that butter knife wasn't deep enough to kill him. Take a good hard look at the crime photo. Now, a real pro's attention will be drawn here to this banana.
Bandana.
Oh yeah, thank you, sir. Bandana.
Banana.
I make the jokes in this format, Judge. His bandana, sir. That's the thing wrapped tightly around his neck, sir.
Yes, I see. His banana-scented bandana.
Then, what about the knife? Yeah, it seems to have been stuck in the victim's chest on purpose after his death.
We have a crafty murderer on our hands here.
Okay, autopsy report: strangled with a scarf, then stabbed with a knife. At first, we thought there was something suspicious about the empty guitar case. And why did you think that? Because it was empty, Paul. The Jammin' Ninja doesn't go anywhere without his bright red guitar, and we couldn't find it anywhere at the scene of the crime.
Oh, then what about this theory? A fan really wanted the guitar and did the crime to get it. How's that?
Yeah, we thought of that too, but the only fingerprints on the guitar case were the victims. Only the victims, huh?
I see. So much for my theory then. Oh, my goodness. I'm sorry, these gloves are so uncomfortable.
I will take them off now. Okay. However, we later found out that the guitar case had nothing to do with the murder. What convinced you it had nothing to do with the case? The guitar wasn't at the Gatewater Hotel that night.
Well then, where was it?
The bright red guitar was eventually found at the TV studio. The victim, Juan Carita. The victim, one Juan Carita, had apparently only taken the case with him, sir.
So you mean he forgot to put the guitar inside the case?
Yes, sir. Even when he was on stage for the ceremony, he didn't have his guitar. So the guitar case was empty even before he got to the hotel. Yeah, that's right. So it really had nothing to do with the case after all.
I believe that is enough. First, the victim was choked to death with his bandana. Then, after the victim was dead, the victim deliberately stabbed him with a knife. Which brings me to my next point. Why then did the police arrest Matt on guard? Because there was reason enough to suspect him.
Here it comes. Oh, looks like Edgeworth is back in full swing.
Very well. Detective Gumshoe, please testify about this matter.
Yes, sir. Matt on guard and Juan Carita. Oh, sorry. Yeah, yes, sir, Mr. Prosecutor, sir. One Matt on guard and one Juan Carita, I give up, were huge rivals with each other. They each thought the other guy was in his way. That's motive enough in my book. As for evidence, there's the Jammin' Ninja's button. It was ripped off the ninja costume and was found in Mr. Onguard's hakama. The defendant's fingerprints were also all over the knife. The defendant brought the knife for the crime, which makes this a premeditated murder.
So the defendant's fingerprints were found on the knife used in the stabbing.
It was, sort of sticky on the handle, so the fingerprints came out pretty clearly, sir. Sticky? Why? And, there's this button.
That was found in the defendant's clothes, was it? And is this button also covered in blood?
Yes, and, we know that the blood on it is the victim's blood, sir.
What?
Okay, ripped off his costume, covered in Karita's blood, found in Onguard's hakama.
All of this points very clearly to the defendant, doesn't it?
Yes, it most certainly does, Your Honor. Ready to give in yet? Right? Huh. I'll find the hole in your argument somehow, and I will fill it to your satisfaction. Oh. You can press as hard as you like. Just hurry up with your usual pointless questions. Oh, I'll press you all right. Matt Unca and Juan Karita were huge rivals with each other. But in terms of popularity, Mr. Unguard won, did he not? Yeah. But you know what's ironic, pal? Juan Karita was always one step behind Mr. Unguard in everything. This year, it seemed like he'd finally caught up, ready for the big final showdown. But Mr. Karita lost the Grand Prix in the end.
Oh, that is too bad. He must have been pretty downhearted after losing.
Wait. No. They're not going to do that, are they? Oh, I really hope they're not going to do that. They each thought the other guy was in his way. That's motive enough in my book. Wait just 1 second here. Mr. Unguard was beating Mr. Karita in the popularity polls. Well, yeah, I guess, but... Which means that in the defendant's eyes, the victim was not a rival at all. Which means he had no motive to kill at all. That's a good point.
Yes, I quite agree. Well, detective...
It's not, well, I guess if you put it that way, then, yeah, the defendant wouldn't have had no motive.
Detective, I'm beginning to see why you were fired.
No, not you too, Mr. Edgewood, sir. That's...
I look forward to your pension negotiations.
Oh, no!
Oh, no, detective, let's continue with the testimony.
No, not my poor pension, too.
Detective, if you value your money, I suggest you proceed.
Yes, sir. We can talk about my pension later, sir. But what about what I was saying? Hello, anyone? So yeah, as for evidence, there's the Jammin' Ninjas button. Do you have any proof that button belonged to the victim? What do you mean, pal? Oh, let me put it this way. I'm asking you if you have any evidence to back up your claim that this button was ripped off of the Jammin' Ninja's costume. Can't you tell just by looking at it? Oh, and the victim's blood is on it. Anyone could have smeared that blood on there afterwards. But Mr. Edgeworth, help me out here, sir. All right, I knew it had to be this piece of evidence. Now to reel this one in.
Red.
What?
The button was attached to the costume by thread, obviously. And that thread snapped when the button was torn off. You match up the ends of the thread on the costume with the thread on the button. It's a perfect match.
Wait, really? Oh, okay. Yeah, that's it. The perfect match, pal.
That's Edgeworth for you. Never misses a beat.
Yeah, it was ripped off of the ninja costume and was found in Mr. Unca's, his pants. When was this button found? Pretty soon after the body was found. We rounded up everyone who knew Mr. Kurita. And then we did a search on them all, and that's when we found the button.
So it was almost immediately after the murder. The police didn't have the free time to lollygag and play tricks, unlike some people.
Hey, what's he trying to say about me here?
And also, the defendant's fingerprints were all over the knife.
How were the fingerprints arranged on the knife?
What? What do you mean, pal?
By examining the fingerprints, and you determine how the defendant held the knife. For example, did he hold it normally or overhand? Or did he maybe hold it like this? Like he was cutting a steak, a T-bone steak, specifically. Oh, is that what you meant? Oh, okay. We didn't actually think of that. Can't believe the bumbling of this department.
Hopeless. Were you paying attention to the testimony, right? The defendant's fingerprints were all over the knife. There's no way to determine how the knife was held at the moment of the murder. So, is the defendant the owner of this knife then?
The defendant brought the knife for the crime, which makes this a premeditated murder. There is no way this was a premeditated murder, even if he did bring the knife. Sorry, pal. This isn't some pocket knife. It doesn't fold, so it's not great for walking around with Ida. Well, this is not good. If the prosecution can prove it was a premeditated murder, we're done for. Phoenix! What? Yeah? There's something very interesting about what the detective said just now. Think carefully before it's too late. A button covered in the victim's blood and a knife with Unca's fingerprints. Be grateful. If the judge were more rash, he would have already pounded his gavel in closing. Yeah, we're still in a world of trouble. Well, before any battle, you must find your enemy's weakness. Mia. This is Edgeworth. He doesn't have a weakness. If it was Von Karma, I could fluster her. I can't fluster him. So let's find the weakness in this testimony, no matter how small it may be, okay, Phoenix? All right, flaw in the testimony. I've already pressed on everything. What the actual what? Okay, so... Alright, he brought the knife. And specifically, it was walking... Yeah. Right. Victim's blood and Unca's fingerprints. In the grip, K order is engraved. Right. It belongs to the hotel. Wait a second. What? So, the basis of your argument that this was a premeditated murder is simply that my client bought a knife beforehand. Oh, yeah, that's right, pal. The defendant did not buy this knife. But take a good look at the handle of this knife and you'll see what I'm talking about. It is a gate water seal set into the handle. Gate water? Oh, I think I've heard that name somewhere before. That's the name of the hotel. The Gatewater Hotel. The hotel where the crime took place! Uh-oh. The murder knife was actually property of the hotel, which means this murder was not premeditated.
Yes, that is very true. This is a very big. What is it, Mr. Edgeworth? I'm sorry, but the defense is simply too careless.
What?
I think whether the crime was premeditated or not has already been determined.
How so?
I admit this knife is hotel property. There is no one currently on the police force that is dumb enough not to realize this. Please note I said currently on the police force, Mr. Citizen Gumshoe.
But I didn't know. Oh.
The question is, where did this knife come from?
Wait, that's obvious. It came from the victim, Mr. Garita's room.
Sorry, Your Honor, but that is incorrect. The victim ate a last meal before he was murdered. With that being the case, I would like to draw the court's attention to what is on top of the table.
There's a knife and a fork on the table. And where in the world did this knife come from?
If it pleases the court, I would like for us to recall the room of the defendant, Mr. Matt Ungard.
Oh.
Especially what was on top of his table.
Oh.
Crap. There is something missing. Perhaps it is a single knife? We investigated the leftover dishes for fingerprints, and while we were investigating, we came to the conclusion that Mr. Matt Ungard's knife was missing. Mr. Ungard had gone to the victim's room with the knife he had used during dinner. Why would he carry a knife on a visit? To kill, of course. And with that, I believe the prosecution has proven this was a premeditated murder.
Amazing, Mr. Edgeworth. Absolutely brilliant. A brilliantly clear deduction.
It seems like Edgeworth had this plan from the very beginning.
Yeah, this must be one of those traps, and I just walked headlong into it. A murder weapon with fingerprints, and a button from the victim's costume. There is quite a sizable amount of evidence here.
I can safely say that any further deliberation is a waste of Your Honor's valuable golf time. Although, I wouldn't mind if the defense were to present evidence not yet shown to the court.
Wait, what? Evidence not yet shown? He means evidence that the court hasn't seen yet. In other words, new evidence. Phoenix, take the hint. He's not after retribution. He's not after a name. He's already made his name. He is after the truth. Holy shit. Holy shit.
What does the defense have to say about this, Mr. Wright?
Well, Phoenix, the judge is favoring the prosecution right now. If we answer with something wrong here, that gavel of his will be ringing out to the sound of our defeat. All right. Okay, witness. No, not witness. Evidence. The wine glass. Yeah. Oh, okay, hang on.
Mr. Wright, do you have something important and necessary to present to this court?
Yes, I do. Hang on. There's one piece of evidence that catches my attention. Something that this court has yet to see.
Mr. Wright, I will say that this one more time, I do not feel this trial needs to continue at all. However, I'm giving you one chance and only one.
What the judge is saying, right, is don't try pulling one of your usual bluffs here. If I mess this up, it's all curtains for us. Holy crap! That's my entire life bar. Okay.
You may now present one and only one piece of evidence.
Oh crap.
Now then, what is this important evidence that you must show to the court?
Okay, I really hope it's the wine glass. Let me look. Okay, yeah, I think it's the wine glass.
Take that!
It's a wine glass, is it not?
Please look at the photo of the crime scene one more time. The scene is a mess because of the victim's struggle against his assailant. The vase was broken. His makeup is all over the floor. These were all things that were at one point sitting on top of that dresser. The one with the wine glass on it.
Well, yes, I see your point.
However, this glass that is sitting on top of the dresser is mysteriously untouched. The only thing that had not fallen over, along with everything else, is this wine glass. This piece of evidence is more than strange enough to warrant further consideration. Well, come on, anything? Anyone? Does anyone have anything whatsoever to say?
Well, yes, it is a little peculiar.
Yes, isn't it? I thought it was. I certainly thought it was.
You can stop looking at me with those puppy dog eyes of yours now. Mr. Edgeworth.
What is it, Your Honor?
Your opinion.
You don't need my opinion. Because there is no special meaning to that glass. Shazbot! What? It's safe to say that the glass was set there after the crime took place.
by the person who discovered the body, Adrian Andrews, for example. She could have easily been so shocked that she set the glass down without thinking.
That does sound very plausible, Mr. Wright.
Could Miss Andrews really have set that glass down without thinking?
No, absolutely not.
In for a penny, in for a pound. If I appear weak here, the trial is over. You can look for my proof later. For now, I should trust my instinct and point with certainty.
They just might fall for it if you're thought-provoking enough.
The defense would like to challenge the prosecution's theory.
We would like to see something that proves it was Ms. Andrews who set the cup on the table.
You've turned the situation on its head yet again, as usual.
Mr. Edgeworth, do you have any proof to back up your claim?
There's no way he has any. He's just bluffing. Unlike Mr. Wright, I never say anything unless I have the evidence to support it.
Damn. What?
You're not thinking hard enough today, Mr. Wright. Did you think this wine glass escaped my notice? Of course it has been thoroughly inspected for fingerprints.
Fingerprints.
There were only one set of fingerprints left on this wine glass.
Only one? Well, whose were they?
They were not the victims nor the defendants. Rather, they were one of Adrian Andrews.
The actual murderer? Thank you very much.
Well, actually, she might not have been the murderer.
I don't want to get into that right now. But she definitely framed Matt. What?
That is why I said that the person who had discovered the body had left it there. Are we done here, Mr. Wright?
Can't believe I fell into another trap.
Ms. Andrews was probably holding the glass when she went to see Mr. Carita. But upon seeing his dead body, she was stunned and set the glass down on the dresser.
What you just said makes a lot of sense.
Tisk, tisk, tisk. Now do you see right? You can't change any part of my scenario as it explains everything all too well. I've thought long and hard this past year about what it means to be a prosecutor. And from here on out, I will show you the answer I have come to discover.
Wait a second. Mr. Edgeworth, I think the prosecution has provided enough evidence for me to enter my verdict.
Unfortunately, I cannot allow you to pass judgment just yet. The prosecution has yet another witness we would like the court to hear from.
I told you. He's not after wins anymore. He's after the truth. Miles is now a good guy.
Another witness? Yes. Bailiff, please bring in the next witness.
What in the world is Mr. Edgeworth thinking? Truth. Truth.
Oh, God. Now then, witness, please state your name and occupation. Witness, your name and...
Gotcha!
I wonder what happened to that calm composure he had earlier.
Oh, Edgy boy, it's been what? A year since we last met, hasn't it? You should be more happy to see me.
I saw the report with her testimony, but who knew that under that helmet? It was the Wicked Witch of the witness stand.
I tell you, this time I know what I'm supposed to do. So today, I'm going to tell you anything and everything. Even things that don't have to do with that terrible crime.
Miss Witness, that terrible crime is all this court needs to know.
Shush! I'm talking to my dear Edgy Wedgy right now. Don't interrupt us, Grimps.
Yes, madam. No, please, by all means, interrupt her. Interrupt her, please! Anyway, witness, your testimony, please.
It's true what they say, that youth are hot-headed nowadays. Not that I mind at all. Edgy. Now then, what should I start with?
The witness was on security detail at the hotel on the night of the murder. Is this correct, Ms. Oldbag?
It was a great job being able to see my dearie one. It was almost too much for my little heart to handle.
You mean
you were a fan of the victim? Look, everyone is crazy over that Unguard, saying he's cute in a fresh way or something. But not me. I wouldn't say anything so silly. After all, I have no interest in a little child like him. I'm only interested in a real man, one Karita.
But those two were the same age.
Anyway, as I was saying, I was pacing in front of his room that night.
Very well, please tell the court what you witnessed on the night of the murder.
Leave it to me, Edgy Poo.
Oh, God.
Anyway, after the ceremony, I went to pace around in the hallway in front of his room. There was something I was interested in finding out, you know. Well, since I was on the job, I made sure to keep a good eye out the whole time. That's when someone showed up. There was a man coming out of poor Juan's room. It was Unguard. Matt Unguard. He was trying to sneak his way out of Juan's room.
So, Mr. Unguard came out from the victim's room.
See, it has to be him. He's the murderer.
I see. Well, Mr. Wright, you may begin your cross-examination.
Okay. Okay, what about this?
Hold it!
Something you were interested in, and just what was that? That's not some little thing I could just go around telling everyone, you know. It's top secret between me and Juan.
Juan's dead.
Oh, and Edgyboo, of course.
Mr. Edgeworth, what is this thing she was interested in? I have no idea. I despise gossip, Your Honor.
Gossip?
But should it prove relevant, we can always have it appended to her testimony later.
Yeah, it looks like we shouldn't force it right now.
And did the witness stay in the vicinity of the victim's door the entire time?
Yes. Okay. Wait. We've done this before. Was he wearing his ninja costume The one that doesn't show his face? Yeah, she'll believe. Okay, see the very first trial in the very first game. She did the exact same thing there too.
Hold it!
You saw my client. Are you sure about that? Yesy. Really? Annoying brat! When I say I saw someone, I saw that person. Why do I get a sense of deja vu? Told ya. Maybe to avoid a repeat of last year, I should delve into this a bit further. Please tell the court about the man's clothes in more detail. What a troublesome man you are. Really, as if something like that matters. But it does. No, what was it? Oh, yes, it was that thing. What thing? That gaudy thing he's always wearing. That racing jacket. Ah, he was wearing that at the detention center, too. That thing's meant for nothing but seducing women out of their pantaloons. Men. Yeah, right. Anyway. So, Mr. Wright, was this testimony just now important or irrelevant in any way? Yes, it was very important. Of course it was important, Your Honor.
Objection!
And perhaps you would like to point out what part of that testimony was important? Don't you see it, Edgeworth? If he was wearing that jacket, he wasn't wearing his costume, which means he wasn't wearing the weird pants that the button was called in. Your Honor, I request what the witness said about the jacket be appended to her testimony. I don't quite see where you're going with this, but all right, witness, please.
Oh, well, I don't like to badmouth anyone without reason, but if I must. He was wearing his flashy racing jacket. Honestly, it's all just for show.
All right. So where did this come from? Oh.
Objection!
Ms. Old Bag.
What? Don't say my name for no reason.
Do you know what this is?
It's my number 2 on the Jebin Ninja's costume.
Now I know she's an obsessed fan.
She identified it in a single glance. Give it here! Give it here! If you don't give it to me, I'll punish you with this! Rat-a-tat-tat-tat-tat.
Wow. She really is a diehard fan to want a button covered in blood. This button was discovered on Mr. Ongar's body during a full body search.
See? See? This button proves beyond a shadow of a doubt it was that rascal Ungard.
It was caught up in the pleats of his nickel samurai Hakama pants.
See? See? And Ungard is the nickel samurai. Witness! Now, it may just be me, and I do have an active imagination, but just now didn't you say that the defendant, Matt Ungard, was wearing his usual racing jacket? I'm so sorry. Sorry that you judge people based on what they wear. If I wore the trendiest dress, the ridiculous outfit is hideous. It's heavy, so heavy. I wish I would switch the CDs. Stream a lot for the kids out there. Understand? Go take a look in the mirror. Your clothes are a documentary on curling.
Curling? I like curling.
Now hold your tongue still there for 1 second. So what you saw in actuality was not Mr. Ungard the man, but Mr. Ungard the Nickel Samurai. What would you think about it? They're really one and the same anyway. Mazelbeck! This is a very important point we're talking about.
Do you think so too? Well, it might be something worth considering.
Just say it's important and agree with me for a change.
Witness, think carefully and try to remember as much as you can before you testify.
All right, if you insist.
I should be the one signing, not you.
On guard! Yes, now I remember. The Nickel Samurai. That's right, it was the Nickel Samurai that I saw. Yes, it would have been convenient for him to wear his costume during the murder. He had to go to that post-ceremony show right after the crime, you know. So he must have worn that Nickel Samurai costume when he was stabbing poor one.
So you didn't see a goddamn thing, did you? I knew it. I knew you'd say he was inside that costume.
What? Did you think there could have been someone else inside that costume?
It's a fluffing costume!
Don't be such a bad little boy, thinking such rude things.
But the possibility does exist.
Oh, youngins today. I told you there's no way it was anyone else.
How do you know that?
Because I said so. And what I say is the truth.
Well, at least she's just as delightful a witness as she was a year ago. Mr. Wright, you may cross-examine the witness.
Be a little more careful with your testimony, please. Not too long ago, you said he was wearing his racing jacket, and now he's not? Not too long ago. Then let me ask you this. When you were itty-bitty, what was your grand dream? What? What did you want to be when you grew up, whippersnapper?
My dream, huh?
Well, I wanted to be Judge Wagner, hero of the public's court. So what? See? And look at where you are now. You're not Judge Wagner, are you? Are you? Well, what I said earlier, I'm proceeding weight into things like that. The now is everything. I can't be held responsible for the past. God, why is this woman not underneath the jail for perjury at this point? Since when did court become theatrics over testimonies? All that matters is that man was inside the costume. Isn't that enough? Oh my God.
All right,
So let me ask you one last time. The person you saw, it really was the Nickel Samurai. As showy as ever. Haven't I been saying that from the very beginning?
Can I throw in the towel yet?
You don't need to think too hard on this one. Yeah? There's a contradiction in her testimony is sitting in plain sight. Yes, I know. The question is what that contradiction means for us. He's wearing a costume, covering his face. It could have been anyone.
No, of course. I have to go through this again.
And present this.
Objection!
Please take a look at this. Yes, so it's a knife. Big deal. you're trying to scare me with that, I'll have you know it won't work.
No, that's not my intention at all.
That's the knife that was used in the murder, correct?
Your Honor,
Do you know why this piece of evidence is important to this case?
you don't even have to ask.
It's because the defendant's fingerprints are on it.
Is that what you're driving at?
That is exactly what I am driving at. What are we driving at? And whose car are we driving?
Mr. On Guard was really in the nickel samurai costume at the time of the murder.
Then it's impossible for his fingerprints to have been left on this knife. Actually, he would have wiped all previous fingerprints on this knife right off. Oh, that's right, the nickel samurai wears gloves, doesn't he?
He probably took his gloves off right before he began the stabbing.
Really? Really? I expected more from you, Miles. And why would he do something like that? To leave his prints on the murder weapon? There is no way he would do something like that. However, there is one possibility. Then let's hear your possibility.
It's very simple. The defendant went to the victim's room while in costume as the nickel samurai. At that time, the defendant held no intent to murder. He was probably just going to relax and talk with the victim about the stage show. Which is why he took his gloves off.
Well, that kind of scuppers your premeditated murder theory, doesn't it?
But the murder still did take place. It's well known that there was bad blood between the defendant and the victim.
Yes, I have heard that before. Well, Mr. Wright, what do you have to say about Mr. Edgeworth's theory? So, let me get this straight. Edgeworth's theory goes like this. When the defendant went to the victim's room, he had no intention of killing him. Now, up to this point, are there any problems with this theory? Yes. This theory contradicts something in an earlier testimony. But what are you babbling about? Now, for argument's sake, let's suppose Mr. On Guard was the killer. If that's the case, I think it's impossible for the killer to have gone to the victim's room without intent, because he brought a butter knife. This knife, this was used by Mr. On Guard at dinner. Yes, we did establish that. Which means that if my client was in fact the killer, then he brought this knife with him when he went to visit Mr. Carita.
I suppose.
However, you just said it yourself. At that time, the defendant held no intent to murder. If that were true, then why would he bring a knife? He wouldn't, would he? Which means, Mr. Edgeworth, your theory was flawed from supposition 1. And one more thing. If the murderer was wearing the costume at the time of the murder, then there should be glove marks left on the knife. Which means the defendant's fingerprints shouldn't be all over it like bees on a hive. And that brings me to my final point. This knife was planted by the real killer to hide their identity and mislead us. Order, I say, order in the court. Was this knife really planted by the killer? Why would the murderer do such a thing? To frame Matt On Guard. To frame my client, Mr. On Guard, of course.
to frame.
Objection!
Aren't you forcing the interpretation just a little too hard on this one?
Objection!
But we just established that the witness saw the nickel samurai in costume. And if that were true, then there shouldn't be a single fingerprint on this knife.
Ah! Witness!
Looks like I've made your life a tiny bit more difficult, huh, Ichibu?
Ah! Witness, did you or did you not really see the nickel samurai?
Well, I guess at first I might have forgotten, but...
Are you saying you mixed up Mr. Ungard with the nickel samurai? His character on TV?
But I mean, I can't really do anything about that now. Look, I was waiting around in front of their doors because, well, I wasn't waiting around for the nickel samurai, that's for sure.
She wasn't waiting for the nickel samurai. All right then. Who were you waiting around for then?
That's top secret to anyone outside of security.
I have a feeling that you were waiting for Mr. Juan Kurita. Am I correct, witness?
The way you think, you are a sad amateur with a terrible case of nearsightedness.
Amateur? Me? What am I an amateur of?
So, Old Bag was waiting around in front of the victim's room. But it doesn't sound like she was waiting to catch a glimpse of Mr. Kurita. Maybe, Phoenix, maybe the Old Bag was waiting around for that person. Adrian? Oh, because of the gossip column.
As who I think me is hinting at, it's certainly possible. Ms. Oldbag, you were waiting for this person to come out of the victim's room, weren't you?
Take that!
Who's this person?
This is Adrian Andrews, Mr. Ungard's manager.
But why would the defendant's manager be in the victim's room? It seems that this is the latest rumor in circulation, Your Honor. I see.
The judge seems to be really into their article, if it can be called such a thing.
And this manager with the initials AA, are you saying it's Adrian Andrews? Without a doubt, the witness thought so as well.
Looks like you found me out. Well, that's fine. I can throw away this whole sworn to confidentiality stuff then.
Witness, what in the world are you?
Watch out, Phoenix. Got a bad feeling about this. A very bad feeling. I've got some information. Some very secret information from a certain source. So that's why I was doing my own little investigation. In secret, of course.
But what for?
Oh, just for myself. Personal reasons and all that.
Well, Mr. Edgeworth, how will you proceed from here? I really don't want to do this. However, I cannot simply let this point slide. I see. Very well then. Witness, please testify about this secret information.
Get ready! This is going to take the wind out of you young'uns.
I am sure we're all capable of handling this.
Really, it's not like we're 10 years old. That Ungard is one evil man. He thought he could ruin poor One by causing a huge scandal. So to do that, he sent his own manager to get in close with One. I cannot condone such dirty tricks, so I took action. Oh, and this is top secret, you got that? Nobody else but you and me know yet, okay? Oh, God.
The defendant sent his manager. What a distasteful topic for this court.
What? Nobody's above gossip. This isn't their saying. The truth is never pleasant.
I never heard that one before.
Mr. Edgeworth, what about this Adrian Andrews person?
We have looked into this matter and found that the truth the article proposes is, in fact, baseless gossip.
But should this be true, then this proves that the defendant did bear ill will towards the victim.
So this means I have to smash this rumor once and for all.
Well then, Mr. Wright, you may cross-examine the witness.
Be careful. The old bag seems rather excited right now.
Okay.
Well, as the old saying goes, you gotta burn old bags with fire. Time to fire up the afterburners and hit the highway to the danger zone. Okay.
Wait. What? I'm a busy woman. Tea time with the kids is over.
Secret information that no one else knows yet. If that's true, then how do you know this secret information?
Well, that's because I'm a pro. Yeah, that's it. It's a secret. Even if you drilled a hole into my brain, you'll never find out.
While trepidation is a tempting offer, I think I'll just present some evidence. So, no one else is supposed to know this secret information, correct? That's true. Then why do you know it, Ms. Oldbag?
Why are you looking at me like that? Stop that!
Witness! I hate to say it, but this is how you came to acquire your secret info, isn't it? You stole Lotta's camera!
Take that!
The investigative photographer, Lotta Hart.
Oh, yes, I remember that mischievous girl.
She reported that she had lost a certain note she had written to herself.
She reported such a thing?
On that piece of paper, she had written down some of her her impressions about the relationship between the victim and Ms. Andrews.
What? Outrageous ideas, you say?
No. I said impressions.
Then everything written on this piece of paper is completely meaningless?
Ah! That's it! That's the note!
Ah! No, you see, this is something completely different. This is my top secret list of groceries to buy. Then you are the one who took Ms. Hart's note. Yes, I'm a huge fan of ones, that's why. That infamous puppy-haired whippersnapper. She's working with that evil Unguard. She says so herself. Unguard, I'm his sidekick. She was so happy, smiling like a silly duck. I was only checking what she had written. Boo, you believe me, don't you? I was only trying to help out like the angel I am. It's only one little piece of paper. I've never taken anything else before.
You really should come with a supply of cheese to match your vintage wine.
Well, it was only a piece of paper. I suppose we can overlook it just this once.
Yeah, she looks like she's really sorry. Should I forgive her? Absolutely not. If I let up on her now, she'll get away. I have to find some way to inflict a deafening blow to the prosecution. Witness! You said that the only thing you stole was that note. Is this correct?
Stole? Why did you listen more carefully, you annoying brat?
I
I saved this piece of paper from the terrible, lonely trash can, that's all. You're lying, damn it, and I can prove it. Are you putting my credibility under scrutiny again? Ms. Oldbag, you are a liar and a thief. This has been proven multiple times. I don't believe the note is the only thing you stole that night, because the only way you could have gotten that note was by stealing Lotta's camera. Ms. Oldbag, that note was with a camera inside its case, wasn't it? A camera? Yesterday, Lotta Hart was raising a huge stink over her camera. She kept saying something like, my sweetie, $1,600 camera disappeared on me. Wait, witness. What is it, Gramps? If you have the note, then it is only logical that you have the camera too. Looks like you have found me out again, Sonny. Is this the camera you're looking for? That's... What? Even though I look like this, I'm still a person, you know. I still eat meals like you, I fall in love, and borrow things from people. I think your definition of borrow is a little off. I saw that woman's business card, and that's when I noticed it said, Slime Bag Celebrities Photographer Extraordinaire. Well, when I saw that, I had to know what sort of pictures she had taken. I'm a professional security guard. It's my business to know these things. Bailiff! Check this camera's photos. Hurry! We must examine them at once. Well, Mr. Edgeworth, what do we have?
There's only one photo that seems to be relevant to this case.
Please present it to the court. I knew it. This is the Nickel Samurai. See, I told you, that's the guy I saw.
This proves that the
Witness was not lying earlier about this matter. It also proves that she didn't see the defendant. What does this all mean, Mr. Edgeworth?
This photo by itself does not prove that the person in it is the defendant. However, in his own confession, Mr. Ungard clearly stated that at the time of the murder, he was still in his Nickel Samurai costume.
If that is the case, then this Nickel Samurai is...
the defendant.
How did it come to this? I think this brings us to the end. We have examined every piece of evidence thoroughly. Final comments, Mr. Wright? The court will consider them before we close. Do you agree that this photo is decisive evidence against your client? Abso-fraggin-lutely not! If this photo really is decisive, then we're done for. But if I raise an objection here and blow it, then I would put Maya's life in jeopardy. Can't make a mistake here. There's only one road out of this mess. This photo that Lotta took, there's something strange with it. Okay, what is it? There's something strange with this photo.
I knew this was coming, right?
Your thoughts, Mr. Edgeworth?
I think we can all agree there's nothing strange with this photo. There's no way for the defense to debunk this photo, even with a bunker buster.
Debunk with a bunker buster? Is that what you're planning to do, Mr. Wright? Anyway, please look at the photo one more time. If you really believe you can honestly find something wrong with this photo, then you should only need one chance, correct? Well, I have to find something wrong with this photo. I can't let this just go by. Where in the heck did she take this photo from anyway? It's all out of focus. Why can't she take a good shot? Especially when it counts. She's a crap photographer, that's why.
Now then, let's hear your objection. What about this photo is strange?
The costume is too big for her.
Take that!
I would like to direct the court's attention to this one area right here.
What are you pointing to? His ankles?
If you could see this person's ankles, that would be one thing. However, you can't.
And? What does that mean?
The costume person in this photo could not have been Mr. Unguard.
What is the meaning of this?
I wonder if you would care to elaborate, with actual facts, that is. Let's take a look at the Nickel Samurai's poster. Please pay particular attention to the area around the bottom of the hakama.
His socks. You can see his socks.
Exactly. However, in this photo, the Nickel Samurai is clearly holding his hakama up just to walk. There is only one explanation for this. The person inside this costume is clearly much shorter than the defendant. All right, I think I've turned things around for myself this time. That's curious. Huh? What is? Edgeworth is unusually calm today. That's true. He's just letting the trial run itself, as if he's only along for the ride. He's here to find the truth, not necessarily to win. Along for the ride. What do you mean by that? I can only guess that perhaps he doesn't feel under attack at all. Oh, wait, what? He doesn't feel under attack, but I haven't damaged his case at all?
Mr. Edgeworth, where does this leave us? If the person in this photo is not Matt Unguard, then everything the prosecution has tried to prove has become meaningless.
I figured it would come to this. What? Right. I have something I want to ask you. I think you have proven that the person inside this costume is not Matt Unguard. In that case, who is this a photo of? It's Adrian. Who is the person wearing the Nickel Samurai costume? Don't stress out over this, Phoenix. It's very simple. What you should be focused on is Edward's attitude, don't you think? Yeah. Why is he so calm?
Mr. Wright, let's hear your thoughts. Who is the person in this photograph?
Take that!
Adrian Andrews?
If you want to know who that Nickel Samurai is, it is none other than this woman. And why would you say it must be Ms. Andrews? What in the world points you to her? Well, for starters, she's short. And she can freely move in and out of Mr. Unguard's room. Finally, she had dinner with Mr. Unguard that night.
And how does that all add up?
It means that it makes it very easy for her to get a certain item. A certain knife with Mr. Unguard's fingerprints all over it.
A knife that was used as the murder weapon.
Why don't you just say what it is you want, right? I have to do this now. This is my last chance to turn things around. The defense moves to indict Ms. Adrian Andrews in the murder of one Karita. It was Ms. Andrews who tried to frame the defendant for the crime. Order, order, order! It looks like this trial has hit a most unexpected development. Mr. Edgeworth.
Yes, Your Honor.
This court is issuing a subpoena for Ms. Adrian Andrews. A verdict cannot be passed without first hearing her testimony. All right, this is it. This is kind of bad for us. What? What do you mean? If Adrian Andrews is summoned to court as a witness, it means that the trial will go on for another day. One more day. Ah! If I don't get a verdict today, then my Now then, we shall set Ms. Andrews' testimony for tomorrow. What am I supposed to do? The judge is about to adjourn the court. Raise an objection. Now then. Please, Your Honor, continue the trial. You must pass a verdict today. I can't do that. We cannot hear Ms. Andrews' testimony if she is not... What?
I abhor wasting such valuable time.
Edgeworth?
Your Honor, I request that you please continue with today's trial.
But I haven't tea time in an hour. We cannot continue due to this unexpected development.
Just unexpected development? I think you underestimate me, Your Honor.
And what do you mean by that?
That Mr. Phoenix Wright would slave his way to subpoenaing Ms. Adrian Andrews is all happening according to plan, even if Wright was a bit slow to catch on.
What? What is the meaning of your statement, Mr. Edgeworth?
Ms. Adrian Andrews is currently waiting in the prosecution's lobby. She is the next witness.
Ah! Everything was planned out in advance by that man? Oh my God, I think I'm in love. No, I know I'm in love. Oh, edgy. Somehow I knew there was no way Edgeworth would overlook Ms. Andrews. You look upset. This isn't cutting me up. Looks like this battle is far from over.
Exactly.
We will call the next witness. However, before we proceed, we shall take a 10-minute recess. Please prepare your witness in that time, Mr. Edgeworth. The court will now take a 10-minute recess. To be continued in the next episode. To the outro. I am absolutely convinced that Miles Edgeworth is now only concerned with the truth. If that means he wins, fine. That means I win, good enough. I don't think he ever wants to send an innocent person to their death again, which you know he's done, probably multiple times. And I'm sure he's broken the law to do it. The only difference between Edgeworth and Von Karma is that Miles never put a bullet in someone, as far as I know. Well, there is one more difference. Von Karma did this for 40 years with absolutely no semblance of remorse. Miles did this for just a few years, 4 maybe. Then after 3 losses and his mentor framing him for murder, he went on a quest to find his soul and actually found one. Anywho, in the next episode, we will be able to grill the person who framed Matt on guard for one Karita's death. In the meantime, up here's a playlist of my Danganronpa Trigger Happy Havoc playthrough, and down here is a video that YouTube recommends. Like, comment, and subscribe, and I'll see you in the next episode. Bye!